Hey, Dad. Uh, Everything's going great. Everything's working. Um, except that I messed everything up with the power. Uh, okay, so health update. My brain is great. It seems like I just a couple days after upload, like I totally cleared up. My exhaustion level's fine. I'm just a weakling as usual, but I'm not like getting winded from moving a chair, so that's good. My brain's back in order, but I'm still an idiot. Uh, but mostly, yeah, everything's good. It's just I was getting a grounding error on one of the PDUs, and that kept freaking me out because everything's going great. My my wind tunnel custom module box, it worked. My miner box, bro. Yeah, it's loud. It worked. Everything's going great, but my basement has been out of commish for about 24 hours. Just tried replacing the outlet, didn't work. So I have another one coming in tomorrow morning. I'm going to give it one more try, and and then I'm going to call a real human and figure out what's going on. Because and it's so maddening because I know it works. I, I could get max power out of this thing, and then it doesn't, and I'm not sure why. I repeated the old steps, and I put it back on the old outlet. Still thing. It's just a trickle of power. So whatever. Anyways, yeah, I got a little got some time lapses. Can can show you here. This is me. It's me. I set up a bunch of time lapse stuff. I ran it through a free Microsoft video thing that said we'll use AI to edit your video. I'm like, all right, cool. Here's an hour worth of time lapse, which is probably days of video. I'm not quite sure. Um, yeah, so right now I am building the frame for the big motherboard that I got that was brown. It's kind of dirty looking. When I got it, it was actually really clean. It was super nice. Nice product. Um, some of these time lapse things are out of order, so whatever. I'm still just trying to figure out how to use the saw at this point. And I still am as of today. And I'm building a brand new case, and I think I botched a few areas, but it's nothing too bad. Anyways, so yeah, so making this frame, I learned a lot about working with this softwood. It it cracks so easily, so you kind of have to like pre-drill the hole and then pre-drill the size that the end would be, because as soon as as soon as it starts pushing up against the wood, it cracks, and so learning to baby it. I had to basically undo all of the screws that you see here. It's all cracked and nasty, and yeah, whatever. It's all part of learning. Um, oh, by the way, that metal vent duct tape is amazing. It's like duct tape, but there's no porous gaps, and I don't think electronics are going to freak out if you just maybe put something in between it. Uh, anyways, these are random clips of the miner box that made it onto the video, and just sealing that up. All right, cool. Yeah, check that out. Look at that. What in the heck? All right, cool. Cutting. Yep, cutting. Anyways, so I'm super proud of the box. It works really well. Um, the the intake fan is at like half speed, and these cards are humming at 60 Celsius. No problems. Everything's fine. Except whenever the dryer turns on. Oh my gosh. there's such like a pressure buildup that happens, and it collapsed my heating. Things were turning red and turning off, and I'm flipping out, and this is like while I'm at work, and I'm just looking at my phone, remoting into to to the computers, and I'm like, Nicole, I don't know what's happening. Wait, are you doing the dryer right now? And she's like, yeah, I am. It's like, okay, telling her how to turn up the fan, turn this thing up all the way. I need this thing at 10. Restart the computer. I put a little, ooh, let me try to go back here. I put a little, right, so this is the, right, so this is the custom DIY box. So there's a little power switch on the other side of this electrical tape on top of a piece of wood. And so I tried to mark it with a little piece of felt with a sticker on the back so that if I ever needed to reboot this, I could just kind of feel around and touch this. And it ended up really working out because I was able to say, like, Nicole, look, no, get all the way on your back and look up and just look for a dark square near some computer plug stuff. And she was able to find it and turn it on. So, hey, it works. Anyway, so yeah, so it works. I immediately see all the problems with it and all the design errors and all the things that I kind of like knew going into it that weren't perfect, but I really needed to prove my point that this could actually work. And I did. And I'm happy with how it works. I mean, I didn't run into any new obstacles. And right now, the only thing I can see is making it better, more efficient, less centralized. Right now, it's all in a box. I would love it if these things were like accessible, maybe four cards at a time. Because when you start stacking them up, I noticed that the air temperature on the intake for the middle cards was usually like 2 to 4 Celsius hotter than the other ones. So that's why I just think that there's like a dead air situation going on where the outsides are nabbing the best air and the insides ain't. So I want to break it up. And also, if there's a problem with a card, it's going to be wildly inefficient because half the module is built into the module and half of it is built into the wall behind it and around it and these foam blocks that I'm putting in. The foam blocks are a temporary solution to wood because those cost less than the wood. Anyways, so before I get into all this next thing, right, so it works. Everything's cool. Got my miner box in from BCPC. The hard drive's on it. Man, the hard drive works, but it doesn't work in it. Replace the hard drive. That one doesn't work either. I resettled the cables. Didn't work. Tried new cables. Didn't work. So right now, only the USB, I can only run this thing through a thumb drive, which I don't like because that's not a long-term solution. So I can either try new cables, I don't know, just throw out these little thumb drives. I'm sure they're pennies on the dolly. I don't know. It's probably like my last worry right now, but, right. So before I get into all that, so when the first batch of cards were ordered, and I got the 8 from Respec.io, and then I looked for some other ones, and I found some from Next Level Technology. Cool. They had 100% feedback. All their items, they're sold out. So they were like, "Yeah, we got these cards. What's your offer?" And I just threw 120 out there. I paid 150 something through Respec. So I saved $30 a card, because they accepted the offer and they sent them out pretty quick, super quick. Let's see. These things are rough looking. This is, the whole top of them is weird, and I don't quite understand the design, but there's like grills, and this is all supposed to be, I think, closed off. I mean, the air is supposed to run through these things. Why are there so many slits and grills and things, and this whole area is split? I don't know. I can only imagine there's some mad heat transfer things going on at an atomic level. But these cards were all busted. Like every single one of them was wrapped in this and just crammed on top of each other in a box that didn't actually look completely dry when it arrived. I think there were, I think I found dog hair or some sort of hair inside of whatever. Anyway, so I took pictures of each serial number, each one. Try. Oh gosh, I think this one was found at I don't know, some sort of coral reef. So that's my elegant solution, is to put a wide application of electrical tape over it and press down hard. And I'm getting, even the sides are all sealed off. And that's what it would look. This is what one of the better ones look like. Not too bad, but yeah, sealing that off. And on the next imagination of this configuration is going to be something. I'm just going to take all these fronts off, and yeah, I got big ideas. Anyways, where was I at? Yeah, so these chuckleheads. Yeah, so this is just a quick video of me going through this minor box and putting all these cards in, photographing it. I put a sunflower in here. Bet you couldn't tell that was intentional. Everything kind of flew by there, but I did want to show some pictures of the actual box. Yeah, there we go. There's yeah. So as I'm making it, I'm trying to make it airtight by any kind of creases and folds. I'm trying to put all that duct tape on there. It's one of the metal pieces I found at Lowe's, and one of the little things that are meant for deck stuff, I guess. I don't know, a little elbow piece. So that's how this little metal twisty tie, this is how I'm mounting the GPUs on here. Drilled holes for each individual one. This is all of them in here. Looking good, everybody. I went on to put more electrical tape into like each one of these little areas, and I stuffed some foam in here just to just to block everything off so that the only avenue of air coming in is through here. It's sealed off the places in between. So while all this is going on, the 4090 sitting on the 9600 and the 90, wait, scratch that, 7900 with this 3070 are in here in the art room, chilling out, making money. This is module mounted into the wall with, you know, at this point I'm like, what's the airtight portion and what's this? Well, I'd love to fill all that out, but I can't do that until I get this in here and figure out what's what. And right, so the other side of the module is a big foam block with strips of magnet tape. This is magnet on one side, tape on the other, just for that, you know, totally magnet tight sort of thing. Let's see, it's another view of all the cards. How pretty. Okay, so like I said, I'm still an idiot. This is my attempt to make my new saws and everything underneath my deck waterproof. So I went to Lowe's and I bought a big tarp, and I put the tarp underneath my deck in a strategic way that would funnel any rainwater down and just keep all my stuff high and dry. And yeah. So I'm starting to notice like a design flaw that there's a couple drips. This duct tape isn't really holding the screws that came loose, and there's some big bubble parts that are just collecting water. I'm like, no. This is going to grow entirely too much stuff that I can't monitor, and it's all going to come crashing down right on top of my saws while I'm using it at some point. So this idea was scrapped. That was all thrown out. We're done with that. We're not talking about that anymore. I used my tarp knowledge and just I applied the tarp directly to the equipment, not some harebrained Roman canal thing I had going on. Right, so Prime stuff. I didn't find a lot of deals that were like really good, but this motherboard was, I think, at $60, and I got two of them. I'm going to use this in conjunction with these that I got for $65. This is a power supply, and this will let me kind of do some one-off computer weird designs that I want to try out and offload some of the 3060 GPUs I got. Yeah, but in a fun way. I don't want to just sell the stuff. I want to make it cool. Orange is my favorite color, and I found some of these extension cables that could kind of help out my little design thing. It was a pack of 4. I got some of that. Let's see what else. All right, so this last little bit is something that I thought was kind of relevant to what's going on with all this crypto mining. So this hot new coin called Aleo that had a massive profit margin, and those CMP cards were doing amazing at. They were doing great, super low temp. Very profitable. Before I killed the power. So one thing that a lot of miners lament about is that they're not like making profit every day from the coin or the asset going up, which led me to kind of question about everything that I do about crypto, which is I always hedge my bets. I mean, if I believe in something 75%, I will short the 25%. And that's what I actively do through 3 commas, which is only possible because Aleo is tradable on Coinbase, which is an exchange I use because that ultimately turns the coin, the cryptocurrency, in. This is where I can actually turn it into a dollar to pay for things. And 3 commas is kind of like a add-on to Coinbase. It lets you do things that you can't do on Coinbase, and you can do them free for a point, to a degree before they start opening up. Like, oh, you're a baller, cool. Well, you want to do all that? Well, you gotta pay a monthly fee. And I had been using this service for a while to run crypto bots, and they were immensely profitable until they weren't. Because when this action is going, yeah. When this action is going, yeah. This action, nah. I don't like sideways, because when sideways happens, then I start making bots that profit on sideways, up and down, and ultimately I lose when they do this or this, because it matters how many positions you opened either way, and whether or not they were cashed out upon a final move, a swift undertaking of everything, and it never happened that way, and I always ended up just, I don't know, flubbing it up. But anyways, short your bag, hedge your bet. Look, I put about 25% of my Aleo in a short position, and I'm down 1.45%. Wow, well, that's not that bad, but I had to build up the bag in order to be able to make the trade. I started trading at this orange cross here, and that was 44% ago. The issue here is that as a miner, for taxes, I have to claim when I accrued this asset, and then the government takes, well, let's just say 30%. So I take a loss at 30% of that day. All right, well, that's fine. Except now what was my profit is now almost half. So this is where some little added insurance comes in. This is why I short a little bit, because at the end of the day, I can hold, and I can hodl forever, wait for that uptick, but I would like to profit on the way down if that happens, just as a way to recoup either electricity costs. And it's not like a total zero-sum game. I mean, I'm buying back all my coin at a lower rate, so it's not like the asset has disappeared. And by the way, if it does pop, I'm generating new assets every day to help dollar cost average up, so that when the inevitable rug pull does happen, then, well, I'll profit even more on the way down. But again, I don't get into the game to short stuff. I mean, it's pretty counterintuitive, but it's an option, and it's free. Look it up, 3 commas. I'm not going to do a tutorial. There's probably thousands out there, and people actively sharing, subscription codes and discount codes, all that good stuff. But hey, let's go look around at the state of the basement. The Ryzen 5900X that was previously controlling all these GPUs is kind of my test bed to get this stuff going. So here's the There's the complete module. It's all good except for you. Outlet. Anyways, yeah, so that's it. There's the minor bro sitting there, waiting to be turned on again. One of the other things I forgot to gripe about was that the company did not ship out any power cables with this stuff. So I was waiting for a bunch of secondhand ones to come in. Yeah, so, but yeah, again, so that's what it's looking like, all taped up. PC case I'm building, taking advantage of my macro photography slash X Studio speaker case, letting that provide some weight to some very crucial parts. Can't wait for this build to get finished.